Week 15 is here. Can you guys believe it? I can't. And the Patriots
Yeah.
play the Bills in less than 24 hours. In a game that 2 months ago, when Joe Miller and I last spoke, didn't really think it would be in the same situation that this game is going to face, where the team with the cap and t-shirt possibilities is my squad and not his squad. Who would have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it? That's exactly right. Bizarro world is upon us. The NFL season in 2025 is drunk. So you're looking at a season where it's still quite possible the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chiefs might not make the playoffs. Last week, the Bears were the number one seed in the NFC. Like, what is going on?
They're now number 7. The Detroit Lions may not make the playoffs. You
Right.
got the man who was last in a wild card game in Buffalo, and Philip Rivers is going to start an NFL football game in about
I was
27
at
hours.
I was at that game. It was actually a really good football game.
Yeah, I remember that game for two reasons. The first being, I think the Colts went for it on a fourth down late in the first half that they didn't get. That I always thought was the difference between them potentially either winning that game or sending it into overtime. And I believe they were saying
Right.
it was only like 6,000 people in attendance because of the pandemic.
Yeah, they did the whole New York State, which you're in Canada, so you get it too. But it was the whole like there's got to be like 15 feet, or I don't even know, 20 feet. Two people and 20 feet around them, two people, 20 feet around them. Like, yeah, it was very reserved. So because of my seniority, I was in the lottery to get tickets to that first playoff game that COVID year. Did not get playoff tickets to the Ravens game the next week because I'd already taken them for the Colts game, which was the big game where Lamar Jackson threw the pick six to Taron Johnson in the end zone. So yeah,
Yes. Yeah. So that season was a brilliant one. This season, though, is just, I'll be honest with you, I've loved the parody that's come about this season to where, you even have a team like the Carolina Panthers who all of a sudden have the control for the division. Like, we thought, hey, Tampa's going to run away with it. They're looking good. And all of a sudden they've seemed to piss down their leg, for lack of a better word. I don't know how you blew that lead Thursday night, but the conversation went from, hey, and I'll say this too, some team out there is going to enjoy Kyle Pitts and they're going to realize, oh, the Falcons just didn't know how to use him.
that's probably accurate. But I mean, there's a lot of teams that looked like they were going to cruise to a win in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter. The Ravens against the Bills, the Steelers against the Bills. I mean, it's happened a lot this season. It just goes back to more of what I said before, that this NFL season is drunk. The Bills destroy the Carolina Panthers 40 to whatever. The Carolina Panthers beat the Falcons, who beat the Bills, who have looked all world at times and other times have looked awful. The Texans are like a team that are all of a sudden really scary, but at other times during the season have looked atrocious. Who are the Chiefs? Can anybody actually figure who the Chiefs are right now? Even Lamar looks very disinterested in even playing football. Like, it's just been a. Meanwhile, the Patriots, your team, the one that we're talking about, looks like a team of destiny this year. So I said it. I don't know if you saw it on my Twitter or my X account. I said it probably week 7 or 8 that like the Patriots look like they're on a collision course with the Super Bowl, and I don't think anybody in the AFC or NFC, AFC or the NFC can stop them. Like, it's going to be interesting to see what the last 5 weeks of the season brings us.
Not sure if
So,
I've seen
or
that, but I've seen a lot of Bills people and like just in general uh tweeting about certain things. But the one thing they've been saying about is like, oh, we can't wait for the downfall of the Patriots, where I'll be honest with you, they're playing with house money right now. I think
oh
we're
yeah,
having a
oh
season
yeah,
like you guys had in 2020, where it's
oh yeah,
like, oh, this team can do no wrong. Like, when they lose a game, like, or if they lose in the playoffs, like, say if they get to the divisional round of the championship Sunday, they lose. It'll suck in the moment. But
yep,
I think they're setting themselves up to where now it's, hey, they're building something for the future. The things I was looking
agreed.
forward to, does the team look competent? Yes, they do. Is the second year quarterback taking the strides he needs to and may win the MVP? Yes. Does his wife also make awesome Christmas cookies? Also, yes. So it's just like it's a wonderful trifecta.
You've had one.
No, I wish I have. I know the
I think. Sorry, I apologize. I think Matt
That's all good.
Stafford is going to win is going to win the MVP. I think Drake May is a candidate. I think he's going to get some votes, but I think Stafford's going to win the MVP.
I've been saying the same thing just because I feel like for him too, it's kind of that cherry on top of his resume to get him into Canton when he does call it a
Yeah,
career.
I agree.
Just
Yeah,
like
100.
because the way the Rams have been playing, they've just been not even that they've been looking otherworldly, but they seem like another team where it's going right. It seems like too, if they go
Right,
far, it could very well be his last year. So I think he'll get the
right.
votes for that sense. But if people are like, oh, Drake got robbed, no, like Matt Stafford's just been kind of that glue that's been keeping that team together because we have to remember too with him, come August, no one knew if he was going to play. He was getting those weird back treatments.
Yep.
But yeah, ultimately though, it's kind of his crescendo for Canton.
Yep. 100%. Totally
Yeah.
agree.
But anyway, we're gonna run down this slate not very quickly, but we're gonna go not as ADD as Joe and I normally do on this Saturday afternoon.
Squirrel.
Yes,
I'm in the country in Tennessee, southern, like the middle southern part of Tennessee. So there's a lot of nature around me as I'm sitting in my parents' camper in their extended camper. I mean, my mom just had surgery. So as I'm ADDing in the moment, my mom just had surgery, so I'm here for the next week to help her post surgery. But yes, there's a lot of distractions, but I'm gonna try to lock in so we get this done.
lock in Squirrel. But no, and hopefully your mom's doing good too.
She
Um,
is. She is.
First game on the slate is a boring one. It's Giants and Commanders, which I I I I I saw the Giants 2 weeks ago. They're a team that looks like they have the pieces, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Plus, two, when you fire your head coach I think if you fire your head coach before December, that's kind of waving the white flag for the year.
Oh
Just
yeah.
hey,
Yep.
Dayball's gone. I don't know where he's going to end up if he ends up back with you guys or if he ends up somewhere else. I feel like it's probably somewhere else. But with this game, I think I think they take this. I think it's just a game. If you have like the 8 TV setup, this is like lower left hand corner, far side, no volume. Just look, that game's happening.
Yep. This is that whole situation is bizarre to me. You find your quarterback of the future. You've got a running back of the future. You've got a stud wide receiver who gets hurt for the season, and I feel like they prematurely fired Dable. Brian Dable, the situation the Giants were in wasn't necessarily Brian Dable's fault. If anything, he was bringing life to that team after a down year last year. So I felt that was incredibly premature to let him go, and they're winning even still within, in my opinion, Brian Dable's offense, like his team, his kind of culture, his structure. I felt it like what completely unsure how Joe Shane survives that, and somehow Brian Dable gets the bounce. But my guy Isaiah Hodgins is back there. He's actually making some catches and making some hay, which is great. They're a weird team. Another one of those like the NFL is drunk. The Commanders should win this game, but I'm with you. I feel like the Giants take it.
Yeah, but with the Giants too, though, I just think it starts from the head down, where it's like Mara hasn't been the same since like Tom Coughlin left that team. Like Coughlin won his
Agreed.
2 Super Bowls, and ever since that like 2012 Super
Agreed.
Bowl that when they beat us, it just hasn't been the same. I feel like like they've had their moments, they had their flashes, but then they just can't keep it together. I feel like apparently Dayball they wanted to fire Dayball after the Bronco collapse, but then
Right.
I
Right.
guess Mara was talked out of it, and then I guess the Bears game happened, and all of a sudden he was just like, nope, nope, nope,
Yep.
we got to do it.
Yeah, the formerly last week number one NFC seed Bears, that
Yeah.
team, that was such a disastrous loss, losing
Yep.
to the Bears. It's like, here we go. Premature. Yeah,
But that's our next game, and it wouldn't it be so Chicago Bears for them to lose to the Cleveland Browns tomorrow?
it would
Like
be. I, that'd
I
be
don't think it'll
2025
happen.
and 2025 NFL football. You use the word parody. I don't know that it's parody as much as I think this season is just bizarre. Like it's just a weird season as far as that goes.
I'm just saying parity in the sense of like you don't know who's going to win. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you can make a solid case for a handful of teams. Hey, they can win the Super Bowl, but with this game right here, though, like I do think the Bears take care of business, but I do think Cleveland covers the number of 7.5.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which for
Agreed.
the season with the season they're having, and I know you'll see Cleveland next. You guys are seeing Cleveland next week. I think for right now they're just figuring out, hey, where are we going for next year? They have a pretty good defense. They have some moments on special teams. It's just starting Dylan Gabriel really wasn't the whole key to success for that
No.
organization, but
And I mean, are they really falling back into Deshaun Watson? Is Shador Sanders the guy? I mean, there was national media like comments this week that Peter Schrager that he might be traded this offseason, and it's clear that Stefanski is not in on Shador Sanders,
yeah.
despite him showing some relative capability and competence being an NFL quarterback, more so than Gabriel, to your point, and more so than probably even Deshaun Watson has in his time in Cleveland. The times that he has been on the field, he's been awful. So, uh, yeah, but Miles Garrett is there, and Judkins, that's who their backup is, or their running back is, right? Is the real freaking deal. That dude is
Hmm.
just unbelievable. So, but I agree with you. They're a team that could jump up and slap just about anybody in this
Yeah.
bizarre season that we're in.
They kind of remind me of what New England was the last 2 years, where they've been losing a lot of football games, but at the same time too, for as much as they've lost games, they can also find sneaky ways to like win a few games. But For them, this season's all been about, hey, let's build towards the future. That's why they traded back with the Jags and stuff like that. But no, the game here, I'm going to say the Bears find a way to win, but it's that kind of game that, people start questioning Chicago, where it's like, oh, are they really what we think they are? Because they have that huge game next Saturday at home against the Packers as well.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, I don't have much to tag onto that. I think you're exactly right.
Yeah, and then Cincinnati, Baltimore. I know we talked about Baltimore earlier, but this really is their season if they lose. So for that whole purpose, I'm going with them to get the win here. Just Cincinnati, like I assume you were at the game last Sunday and all that snow.
I was not. I had to be in Dallas, Texas for an event for work. So I was at a Bills backers bar, the Hideaway in Dallas Fort Worth, for that football game, which was great experience. My daughter went with her friends and sat in my seats for that game. Great football game. I wish I was there. I wish I had been there for that game. But there's a measure of concern around Joe Burrow's comments this week. I mean, he's talking like Andrew Luck talked the day that Andrew Luck was hanging it up. Like it was a little creepy and a little bizarre. And then for Jamar Chase to come out afterwards and be like, "Oh, I thought that was AI." It's just so I feel like that team is super scary. I don't care the Bengals. Like when you look at their weapons and who they are and what they can do, and Zach Taylor, I think, is a very good head coach. He's always coached well against us. And then you've got the Ravens on the other side. I mean, this is almost a pick 'em game. But to your point, I mean, the Ravens need it. But the Ravens have needed a lot of games this season, and they just, like I said, this is where the Lamar Jackson looks a little disinterested in kind of this season. There was a lot of, I'm taking up a lot of time. I apologize. There's been a lot
That's
of
all good.
conversation about the Bills beating them in the beginning of the season, and a lot of the players that have come out and said that they felt like their season ended week one, and like they've just kind of been living in this fog since the Bills, came from behind with 7 minutes left in the football game to beat them in that football game. So on national TV as well. You're going to take the Ravens. I would almost take the Bengals in this game.
I just think that there's a world where people, and for as good as Cincinnati is and the Joe Burrow stuff, I honestly think they're going to lean on him a lot more for decision making. Like I think I would be shocked if they go to him and say, "Hey, do you want Zach here next year?" And if for some reason he
Right.
says, "No, we don't want Zach," Zach's probably gone. Or eventually, if they don't turn it around, it's going to be him asking for out, because there's the quote that always goes around from one NFL executive that says, if Joe Burrow wasn't born in Athens, Ohio, if he was born in Athens, Georgia, he probably would have pulled an Eli Manning on draft night and said, "I don't want to go to the Cincinnati Bengals." But I think because he was from Ohio, there's all that structure. That's why he's been there, and he's been like, look, he's been doing his thing, but it's an organization that's a bit of a crisis mode. But I'm just going to lean Baltimore just because I think a lot of people, for the betting purposes too, are going to look at what happened on Thanksgiving and think, hey, Lightning is going to strike twice. But the way that Cincinnati let that game slip by them last week is the old expression: good teams find ways to win games like Buffalo did, and bad teams find a way to lose games like Cincinnati did.
Yeah, for sure. You're not right. You're absolutely not wrong. But the other part to that piece is Jamar Chase. The last 2 seasons, Jamar Chase has lost his mind.
Ooh, folks, we lost Mr. Miller for a couple seconds. Not sure what's going on there in the forests of the wonderful state of Tennessee. But no, he is right. Jamar Chase has gone crazy. And for anyone watching on YouTube, if you haven't noticed my shirt, it's because tonight he takes his last match. He's kind of the reason why this is here. He's kind of the reason, Mr. Cena. So I'm just going to say, yeah, thanks, Sean. It's 2:36 p.m. right now. He's going to be going on in about a little while, but we got Joe back. So
sorry about that.
There we go with that.
Sorry about that.
I carried on with that. No, because on your Jamar Chase point, his over-under for yards was 91.5 on Thanksgiving, and he crushed 100 yards, no problem. Yeah, like Baltimore is another team that's like quiet. Like I don't think Baltimore makes the playoffs, but I think, hey, they win this game to have their souls crushed next Sunday night on NBC when the Patriots come to town. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Yes, I agree, 100%. Yeah. So, but yeah, I like the Bengals in this game. So we'll see. Yeah.
It's really just a pick 'em one. I just look at it from the logic of, hey, Baltimore, they win. If you win, this is your season. Houston, Arizona is one like Cleveland, Chicago, where for as much as Houston's looked good, this could be a quiet, like, hey, Arizona could give them fits just because Arizona is another weird, dumb team. But they're also a team too where, the coach is getting fired. They have their U-Hauls packed. They have the Cancun trip booked already. And we probably know Kyler Murray's probably not going to be a Cardinal after this year. But I don't know. It's just there's so many games this week I look at from value where it's so many trap gamey games, you know?
Yeah. I don't. As much as I like the picture you're drawing, I don't think it's a complete picture. I don't think there's any way the Cardinals beat the Texans. The Texans defense might be one of the best defenses I've seen in the NFL in several years. They are very good, and they're very good at disrupting. What any offense is wanting to do. They basically are in your back pocket from a game plan standpoint, game script standpoint, and they're going to be that way with the Cardinals. And that's a team that knows what's at stake. Like they're staring down the barrel of a postseason with no Buffalo Bills, no Kansas City Chiefs, and no Ravens. And for them, even with as inept as their offense has been, they've got C.J. Stroud back. Nico Collins is healthy. They've got a decent running back. They have an opportunity, and I think they're going to seize it.
Oh, basically with what I was saying is I'm not saying the Cardinals win, but I think there's a world where the
Oh,
Cardinals can potentially keep that number close.
oh,
That's
I
all.
got you,
That's all.
gotcha.
One of those games because like we kind of saw the recipe last week to how to beat the Houston Texans, and then Kansas City did something incredibly stupid on fourth down by going for it. Because if
Right.
that's that entire second half, that Kansas City defense was not letting Houston do a damn thing, and it was just, hey, Kansas City got back in the game, and then they got
Yep.
desperate, went for it on fourth down, and that was pretty much them saying, we don't want to win this game today, and what probably broke the emotional psyche of one Chris Collinsworth. But no,
Yeah.
Houston takes care of business. I could see this being like a touchdown game, not a 9 or 10 point game. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't know.
Yeah. You don't like the spread. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that they can keep it closer. Yeah.
Jacksonville, New York, because of what Miami did in New York last week, and because I think this game goes over because it's 41.5. That's pretty much saying, hey, Jacksonville score 30 points, Jets get a touchdown and a field goal. I think Jacksonville takes care of business easily. They're a team that's quietly, I think, starting to get the attention of the country. You know, where it's
Go ahead.
like I'm not saying they're going to go far, but like they're a team where it's kind of like, hey, I think we're getting the Trevor a lot of people thought we were going to get. They have another good Josh Allen on their team, just on defense. And even with Travis Hunter out, you got ETN playing well running back. Brian Thomas Jr. is kind of getting his swagger back.
Yep.
But yeah, like I don't know how far Jacksonville will go in the playoffs, but you can't not tell me they're not going to take care of business tomorrow against this Jets team.
I think you're right. At the end of the day, though, the thing about the Jaguars is the fact that unfortunately Trevor Lawrence is their quarterback. I mean, he
Yeah.
is. They only are going to go as far as he's going to. It's very much a to kind of put it in the Patriots basket when Belichick was still there and you guys we're kind of still in that. I mean, he's it's Mac Jones, right? You're only going to get as far
Yeah.
as Mac Jones is going to take you. Now, obviously, Mac didn't come in with the fanfare that Trevor Lawrence did, but Trevor Lawrence is the bruise on that football team.
Yeah.
He just isn't consistent. It's bizarre. He has all the stature, all the physical capabilities. Like he should be that elite guy, and it's just not who he is. So
Him and
yes,
Kyle
I'm with you.
Him and Kyle Pitts are kind of in that same realm or spectrum, if you
Yes,
will, where it's like
yes,
guys coming out who are supposed to be these ballers, but then that's why I hate some NFL analysis who become draft experts and by March 30th, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, this guy sucks. It's just like, well, because you thought they were going to be good because you saw a little bit of their college film, and then you go from there. But no, like when I say Trevor's we're finally seeing the Trevor I think people thought they were going to be, but like one of those things they kind of prey on teams they should be. It's just a matter of, hey,
yeah,
what happens when those upper echelon NFL teams come into your house and beat you? Which weirdly enough, Trevor Lawrence's fall down and get up game is the reason why the Kansas City Chiefs may or may not make the playoffs.
right, yeah, yeah. That's a really good point, and it is interesting and kind of goes with my running narrative in this show that the NFL is drunk in 2025.
Yes. Chiefs and Chargers. I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet too. I gotta go Chiefs. I'm not going spread because I hate picking them against the spread. They don't cover numbers ever. They haven't done it
Yep,
in the entirety of their dynasty. Good teams cover. Good teams win. Great teams cover.
that's right.
But I can see them winning this game close. Like hey, they have to kind of like what they did against the Colts. Because like the same thing too. I don't see because Herbert basically had to play a near perfect game, even though he was getting the crap kicked out of him for 4 quarters in
Mhm.
overtime Monday night. But
Yep.
I don't see the Chiefs having that same lack of like dumb Jalen Hurts fumble. Like when you do a stat that hasn't been seen in nearly 50 years, you're really on the wrong side of history. And I don't think Patrick's that bad to be on the wrong side of history. So I can see them like they're gonna win. Like the Chiefs, I think are gonna win. Like they'll win this game. they'll beat Tennessee, and then Christmas night, their hopes will come crashing down. Because, on Christmas night, when they play Denver, everyone's going to be like, here's the game. The Chiefs win this. Their season's still alive. And then on Christmas Eve, the light goes out. On Christmas Day, excuse
There's
me.
more. There's more than kinks in that armor. I mean, we've watched
Oh, yeah.
this Chiefs team for the last couple of years very much suffer. Pat Mahomes has said as much. The last couple of years we have done what we've needed to do, and he didn't
Horseshoes and
necessarily
rabbits up
say.
your ass. Yes.
Yes, like he didn't say that luck was on our side, but we've gotten it done in close games. Whereas this year we haven't been. But he has put up some stinkers as far as just like from a career standpoint. So we're seeing some things out of him that we've not ever seen before. Desperation throws, we're seeing the refs not coddle them. I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and it's fun to see them and Chiefs Kingdom mad that the refs are calling things against them or not giving them all the calls that they feel like that they should get. I think the Chargers win this football game. I feel like Harbaugh's a great coach, and they're starting to play Harbaugh football as far as that goes. Like they're starting to play tough, hard-nosed, dick football, which is what Harbaugh likes to coach.
Yeah.
It's what he did with the Colts. I think it was with the Colts when he was with the Colts. It's what
Niners.
he did at Niners. My bad. It's what he did with Stanford. It's what he did with Michigan. And this team is finally starting to take on that makeup. And Herbert, you almost hope for this game coming up that they realize that they've found something with Herbert, which was all the running that Herbert did late in that football game. Like he put the Eagles on their heels by just taking off, getting out of structure and taking off. And I don't think the Chiefs can stop him if he starts doing that kind of stuff. So I give me the Chargers in this football game.
Yeah, I'm just going to this game for us is the same as Baltimore Cincinnati. It's just it's their season. It's
Yep,
like I
yep.
want to see a world where when they have the E next to their name and it's like, the entire machine's freaking out because it's like, oh my God, the Chiefs aren't making the playoffs, which I'll also say this on them. 87, he's going to Canton. I just can't see a world where he plays next year. I just can't. Like,
He
because
might be
even
done.
to where he's like, oh, Travis catches 9 times out of 10, but I'm like, yeah, but Travis is 36. We started to see the signs last year, but Father Time's not just undefeated against him, Father Time's kicking his ass.
Right.
They need Chris Jones has even lost a step to a degree. He's not like he's still a good like I was watching
Yeah.
some of his stuff against some of his reps against Stroud, and he didn't even get like he would get pressure, but like most of the time when he would get him, he just wraps a leg around him and then it trips him up and then he falls to the ground.
Right.
But
Right.
no, Kansas City, they just have some soul searching to do where it's kind of like, how do we do like what the Patriots did, where it's like, hey, how do we go from 1.0 to 2.0? And I don't think it's an easy fix of just, finding random guys off the street. You got to get a big body wide receiver that can go downfield. You got to get a running back.
Yep. Yep.
You got
I,
to
I
beef up the offensive line. Like letting Joe Tooney walk because you had to was kind of a silly move now.
Silly move. I feel like you said that this, this is a must-win game for the Chiefs. I think it is for the Chargers too. I think if the Chargers
Yeah.
lose this game, they potentially miss the playoffs, and the Chiefs maybe squeak in. But when you look at what the Texans did to the Chiefs last week, they bullied them. I feel like they almost broke their spirit. Like it just that football game was something to behold. As far you're not used to seeing the Chiefs as much as they're a finesse team. They've got Pat Mahomes and they're going to do things. They are. I mean, Pacheco and Kelsey and Chris Jones, and Karloftis and the guys that they have and McDuffie, like the guys have got on that football team. They have a tendency to bully their opponents. Right when it comes down to it, we're going to buck up. We're going to spine up and we're going to bully you and we're going to win this football game. And the Texans just they made freaking Rushy Rice look like a rag doll. Like it was a clean hit. And like I don't even remember the other players on the Chiefs sticking up for Rasheed Rice. They were just like, "Oh, hey, bro, you all right?" Like
They did it with Jackson Dart.
your back flop like a fish. Like you all right down there, bro? Like
Yeah.
versus like coming after him. Like could it have been an illegal hit? It wasn't, but it's just I feel like the Chiefs are done in my opinion. But we'll see. I could be wrong.
Oh, I think they're done too. I just think, that there's going to be some like weird miracle stuff to like, to where Monday everyone's going to talk where it's like, don't count them out,
No, for
don't
for sure.
don't say this, don't say that, to where it's like,
Yeah,
wait
yeah.
till there's that little not late to the little letters next to their name. But
Yep, yep.
but no, like I just like I don't even view them as if they can't get into the playoffs that they're going to be a team, where it's hey, got to be careful of the Chiefs. How they talk about oh we can get in and go on a run. I'm like the only way you're going to do that is because even I look back at their playoff victories last year, like and I know everyone likes to say, "Oh, Josh, we did this." Josh Allen on that last play of the AFC Championship game last year did everything he could to make something happen out of nothing, and
Mhm.
literally, it's
Yep.
because he had the fault. They threw a blitz at him. He had to get that ball out, and it's one of
Yep.
those things where it had to be the perfect just pass to connect with Dalton Kincaid to make that
Yep.
work. To where
Yep.
even I think I was still saying waiting for this last year, where I was like, they're going to have a game where it just doesn't all go right, and turns out it was a Super Bowl and you got the belt. But like even last week too, like there was a couple throws with Mahomes where I'm like, okay, you're trying to, because there's a difference between making the perfect play and it looks awesome and trying to make the perfect play, and usually it goes in
Yes.
your back pocket. Plus, it doesn't help when Will Anderson's constantly trying to bully you and come at you the entire game.
100%. 100%. What's next?
What's next? It's you and
Game
me.
wise.
Game wise,
Us?
that's
Is
what
it? Is it us?
it's us. It's us. Patriots and Bills. Patriots off the bye week. Bills looking refreshed after the Houston Texan game was an off thing. I always say it's weird too, where I feel like with those Thursday night games, they shouldn't do the far travel ones. I feel like it should always be like not divisional per se, but like hey, you guys having to go all the way to Texas on a short week. How the Vikings had to go all the way to
Right.
California on a short week. I feel like it should always be like close proximity games, like even like how
Yeah.
you guys went like divisional whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with a game like this, I really think it's going to come down to how does the Bills defense do against Drake? Just because we saw it in the first game where I believe there was one fumble from Ramondre Stevenson, but then when Drake May needed to make plays, he made plays. Like when he made Collinsworth chuckle, we were all kind of like, oh, that was, and I'll say this about that game, week 5. That was the game for me. That wasn't the game where I'm like, oh, we're back. We're this great team. That was the game where I'm like, oh, we can hang with anyone. We can beat anyone. I'd said to you,
Sure.
I thought the Bills were going to win that one. Patriots cover the number.
Yep. Yep.
This game right here, I really think is going to be more about what defense can make hell for the other quarterback. Because you have 2 quarterbacks, you have 1 quarterback who's going to be a dad, which congrats to Josh. It's awesome.
Yep.
But then there's also the other quarterback, like I said, who has the baking wife. So it's really about who has the worst day, the father to be or the husband of the baker. Because look, I know at the end of the day, because you know what I think this game can be like? Do you remember the 2019 game where it was Bills Patriots? I think it was like a Saturday afternoon and it was the same sort of circumstance.
Yes, that was 29. Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, that was Tom Brady's last game, right? And they beat the Bills in that game, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
They beat the Bills, but it kind of like came down to like the Patriots defense getting a stop. So I can see
Right, right.
a world where that happens to where I honestly think it's a coin toss. Like I think you can make a case for Buffalo winning. You can make a case for New England winning. One X factor I really think is going to determine to how Buffalo does is how they roll out the tight end packages again, because
Mm.
number 88 really had his not he kind of had a welcome back game last week in Dawson Knox, because I know for a few years for him it always you said it to me on the show. He's been on a milk carton ever since he signed the contract. I know he's had some off-field tragedies, but I feel like with him, he's never really been that player that he was. Because I remember in the early days when he was in the league, he would just they would just find a way to get him the ball. Josh would, and then
Well,
I think
then
another part,
you draft Dalton Kincaid. But
yeah,
yes, go on. Sorry. Yeah.
yeah, but no, that's what I mean though too. And even like one other X factor for this game is really how does Buffalo play the run? Because no Milton Williams, I think is going to be a huge thing for the Patriots. I know they are getting healthier. Christian Benford's another one too, just with the receiving play, but.
Yep. Yep.
I really don't know where this game's going to go. Do I think New England's going to win? Yes. Can I also see a world of Buffalo wins though too? Absolutely, because for the
Can you
Bills,
see a world? Can you see a world where
isn't that
Buffalo
wild?
wins? Think
Isn't
about
that
what you just
wild
said, bro.
considering how
You guys won the last. You guys won the last game by 3 points.
Yeah.
And that's where That's where Patriots fan base is right now. All of a sudden, it's like this is Patriots Bills on Sunday Night Football when it was 50. You guys beat us 51 to whatever it was, 7 or 51 to 10, and Randy Moss had like 4 touchdowns in that football game. Like you
Yep.
guys won by 3 points. I can see a world where Buffalo wins.
I
This game is
know.
going to come down to, yes, Drake May is going to be important. This game is going to come down to Stephon Diggs, number one, and the energy that he brings to it. Can he replicate the energy that he came in and not only pump himself up, but pump that team up to effectively do what they did against the Bills in Buffalo? It's also going to come down to James Cook and can the Patriots stop him, which historically they have not been able to do. Josh Allen is going to be Josh Allen. This is a football team that's getting healthy. The Christian Benford thing is a huge concern outside of the fact that Benford is not a nickel corner and Stephon Diggs has been playing in the slot this season.
Hmm.
72% of his snaps have been in the slot. So Taron Johnson actually is the guy that's going to be covering him more. Taron is actually having a little bit of a down year. Like he's fallen off a little bit, but the Buffalo Bills are going to do what the Buffalo Bills do, which is take away the number one perceived threat. The question is the number one perceived threat Stephon Diggs, or is the number one perceived threat Drake May, or is it Travion Henderson, or whoever's going to be running the football? I don't
Or
think it's going to
Kayshawn
be one of the
Mooney.
running back. Right. I don't. But I don't think he's the number one perceived threat.
No, but he's a good
Um,
deep. He's good. He's a
they'll
good for downfield. It's him or Kyle Williams who are going to catch the
correct,
deep
but I
balls.
don't. I'm not concerned about Christian Benford if he plays, or even Max Hairston and Trey White covering them. I'm concerned about Stephon Diggs. But at the end of the day, you could get a low scoring defensive football game. I feel like you could get a high scoring offensive football game. I don't know what the under over is as far as just
49 and a
the
half.
oh, that seems like a lot. But both of these defenses, they're not the Texans defense. What's the spread? So we're favored by a point and a half, or has the line
It's
moved?
it's pretty much. I think it stayed at a point and a half for most of the week.
I think that's ridiculous. I don't think we should be favored in this football game.
I think it's the
But
books thinking that the Patriots are due for a loss.
Gotcha. But at the end of the day, if the Patriots can replicate what they did in the last game, where they were able to move Drake May out of structure, complete passes downfield at the boundary, Bills losing contain, effectively, what I have said to people, and you and I have not talked since the
Nope.
first game, as I sat in that stadium in Buffalo and watched that football game unfold and watched Drake May break structure, find his way to the edge of the boundary, chuck a ball 30 yards downfield to an open Stephon Diggs or an open wide receiver. There was a moment where I was like, oh, this is how teams feel when they play us. Because this is what Josh Allen does to football teams. Like Josh Allen breaks contain, runs around and scrambles, finds the boundary. He's done it against the Patriots more than almost anybody. Finds the boundary, throws a football downfield to an open receiver. He did it last week against the Bengals a couple times. If you guys can replicate that, I think we're in for another close game where somebody wins by 3 points. If you can't replicate that, I don't think the Patriots can win this football game.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big part to it too. Like that's why I was saying, like, how does the Bills defense respond? Because I think, look, at the time, I think Babbage has been under a lot of questioning. I know there's a lot of people with the
Yeah.
McDermott situation, which I still think I don't see a world where they get rid of him. I don't think it's where like the Tomlin situation is or the Harbaugh situation is, where
No, not yet.
there's no. I just think there's some people where it's like hey, we thought we were going to cakewalk to the thing. I've seen some Bills fans tweet out about Drake May. It's how I feel about Josh Allen, where it's like I love watching him play, but it sucks we got to play him twice a year. To where
Yes, 100%. Yes.
I said this still too, though. The fact that there is a rivalry now in the division where if for the next few years it can just be, hey, these we're playing meaningful games against each other at this time of the year during the Christmas season. I think it's really a win-win for both you and I, where it's just like, hey,
Yeah.
it's good to see. Like, and also too, I'm gonna say this on the schedule argument. I'm over that. Everyone's saying like, oh, the Patriots and schedule. I'm like here to say, because with the Patriots and the Bills, look, we play 14 of our 17 games are against the same team. The
Yeah.
difference in schedule, because here's the thing though, the difference. We beat Tennessee, you lost to Houston. We lost to Vegas, you beat Kansas City. To
Right.
where now it's kind of like, I don't know, like next year, the schedule's harder. Yeah, we're going to play the AFC West and the NFC North. It's just,
Well, what would you have? Did you have a third place schedule this year or fourth place schedule?
we've had fourth place the last 2 years.
Fourth place schedule. Sorry, finish your point because I do have a point to make as
So
well.
basically,
Go
I
ahead.
was going to say is next year, though, if they get off to a bit of a, not a slow start, but if they lose some games, because I'll be honest with you, if the Patriots right now were in the position where, like, the Ravens or the Chiefs currently we're sitting, where it's like, hey, you got to win this game to fight for your life or you're done. Most
Yeah.
Patriot fans would have been okay with that. Like me being realistic was
Yeah.
saying 10-7 or 11-6. Where they
Yeah.
are now, I'm going to steal your phrase. Right now, we're kind of living our wildest dreams where, it's
Yeah.
just like none of us
Yeah.
expected this. That's why, like, when people say, like, oh, the Patriots aren't going to win like they'll lose their first playoff game. Okay. And, this
Yeah,
team
you're
sucked
right.
the last year.
This isn't Drake May's last year as a
No,
pro. This is like his second year, right? So if they get one and done in the first time he's in the playoffs, yeah, you take it and you restack for next year with the most cap space I think in the league, which is what you guys have,
first or
and you
second.
go for it, first or second, right? For me, this football game, I don't. I feel like as much as the other stuff that I said, I feel like it's being overlooked, or one important thing is being overlooked heavily, which is the way the Bills have finished every season since 2020, which most of those seasons they've gone on a 7, 8, or 9 game tear where they haven't lost a game. They chased down the Miami Dolphins to take to take the division from them in the last game. And I feel like what's being missed in this is if the Bills win this football game, there's still a great chance that
Yeah,
they could
yeah.
still win the division. Like, and I don't feel like anybody's talking about it. Like, this is as much as the Tom Brady Patriots were that team that we're going to, no matter what happened, the first 3, 4, 5, 6 games of the season, they were going to end up in the Super Bowl because they knew how to get there. The Bills
Mm-hmm.
are one of those teams that know how to close the season. So urgency is in Buffalo right now, like which it wasn't early in the season, or I should say midway through the season. There was very much a what we showed up, we didn't win, kind of an entitlement feel, which was called out by the coach a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a fun game to watch. I
Yeah.
wish I was home. I wish I was home on my couch and not in Tennessee watching it. But here we are. There's questions on whether or not I'm going to be able to get to see it live. So yeah, that's weighing over my head too. But yeah, we've been on this point a long time. Sorry,
Yeah.
Griff. Great
And I believe
conversation.
too.
I love chatting football with you. So
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I appreciate it. And then Josh, too, I know, was 19-3 in the month of December, I think, in his career, something
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he's also, I think, I don't not sure how many touchdowns away he is, but I think he's very close to 300, to which would be the youngest person in NFL history to reach 300 touchdowns before the age of 30. I think is the
Right.
correct stat as well. So for him, there's a lot on the line. Not even in terms of legacy. I think it's just because I think a win for the Patriots here kind of catapults them now to where it's like the
Yeah.
people that are still kind of like dousing the fires of doubt on them will probably kind of walk back their takes. But if Buffalo wins, it's hey, that boogeyman is kind of coming, where it's like the silhouette's in the door if the Buffalo Bills win this game, because you look at Buffalo's schedule to finish. Cleveland next week should be a win.
Yeah.
That
Eagles.
Philadelphia
No
that
problem.
Philadelphia game in 2 weeks is going to be very, very intriguing, no matter what happens
Interesting.
in this game.
Yes.
And then the
Yes.
Jets game week 18, to where, like the Patriots, we still got to play the Miami Dolphins, who, hey, I know they've been playing some weak teams, but they beat you guys earlier this year. They gave us
They've been
everything they
playing.
could handle.
Yeah, they've been playing well.
Who knew firing Chris Greer would do that? To where are we ready though for them? Where it's going to be they basically just finished the playoffs. Mike McDaniel keeps his job, and then they get off to a terrible start again next year, and then he's probably out in like October.
Yes, I'm ready for that. Let's do that.
Yeah, but no, I think I don't think we really have to go into details on who's going to win or lose, because you think Buffalo's going to win. I think New England's going to win, but we wouldn't be shocked either way. We just want a good football game
No.
for 60 minutes.
Yeah, and I feel like if the Bills lose this football game, there's a good chance that they miss the playoffs. So, and I've said that for the last 3 weeks. Like, if
Yeah,
like there's a good chance, like the Bills are in a must-win situation as well. Even being 9-4, I think is where we're at right now. Are we 9-4? Yeah.
nine and
So,
four, 11-2 feels weird.
yeah, well, we effectively can't afford to lose another game because there's too much opportunity for other teams in this drunk NFL season to slide into spots. Like, it's super in flux. I mean, the Steelers, we crushed the Steelers and they come out and win last week. Like, it's super. It's just the whole thing is bizarre. The season has been weird.
Yeah. Philadelphia, Vegas, I'm going to say this. If there's anything but a belt being put on the bottom of a certain pirate from Nevada, this is a failure for the Philadelphia. I seriously think if they were to even win close, you see the warning signs, you see the red flags start to emerge from Philadelphia. Multiple positivity bunnies will be murdered if that does not happen. Like, for Philadelphia, you need to go out there and just do what Kansas City did to the Raiders a couple months ago and beat them, and
Yeah,
because
yeah.
here's the thing too with the Raiders. I still think they are the worst team in the NFL, still worst run team in the NFL. But is Max Crosby going to be in that Mike Troutish conversation where he's such a great player, but because he never makes the playoffs or he's always like in the bottom tier team in the NFL, he kind of like gets kind of pushed to the wayside on how good his talents are, where it's like,
Yeah.
Max, just go to a good team.
But I think the problem is he's become invisible. Miles Garrett is not invisible, but I mean Miles Garrett's numbers are gaudy
He's
as far as what
he's
he's
one of a
doing in the
kind.
NFL. Yeah, he's
He's
one
a
of a
one of a
kind.
kind.
But my problem with both of those guys is both of them are like, winning is what's important, and then they sign massive deals to stay with their losing franchises. But I don't know. It's a good question. Um, there's kinks in that armor too, right? I mean, there's cracks as far as that goes. Max is starting to say some things that he probably shouldn't be saying in a microphone. It's just one of those things. But I don't know that anybody's ever going to doubt his talent level. Um,
No, but I just mean the fact that he never plays on a big stage. Like, I know he plays for a big
right,
organization, but the fact that he's
right.
never played in a big stage.
For me, it's more about when he starts bouncing teams here soon. So whether it's Joey Bosa, Matthew Judon, like there's a lot of those guys that like were really good, and then all of a sudden like didn't get anywhere with the team they're on, and then started like bouncing to other teams and become a journeyman after it's over. That's where I think the questions start because I don't think of Matthew Judon the way that I used to. You know what I mean? Like I used to think Matthew Judon was like one of the best players in football, and then he went to the Patriots and kind of was like meh, and now he's gone again, and it's like oh, I'm not so sure he's even good. So I guess there's the chance that that could happen.
Yeah, like with Matthew Judon, like he was good with New England, but I think New England kind of realized that he was losing a step, so that's why they got rid of him when they
Yep,
could, and they also traded
smart.
him to a dumb organization like the Atlanta Falcons, and now he's a Dolphin. But no, I just think with Crosby, it's like I don't even think journeyman. I just think like where he's like oh, got to stay loyal, got to say this, but it's like loyalty only gets you so far in this league.
That's right.
Where
That's right.
he
Yeah,
he's kind of that
100%.
employee who works for a shitty. He's like the best employee at a shitty company where it's like, hey, we're not going to give you a raise every year, but here's free pizza. And Maxwell
Right.
always takes free pizza, even though he
That's
eats
super good.
a cleaner diet than you and I do. Um,
That's super good. Super good.
Denver and Green Bay. I'm going Green Bay because two reasons. One, for as good as Denver's been, the big difference for them between New England and Denver for me is the fact that Denver's been coming back and the fact that they've been kind of, playing with their food quite a lot. Also, thank you,
Hmm.
Vegas, for I have to say, too, thank you for Vegas for that backdoor covers last week and that that made field goal to cover the number. Thank you.
Right.
But no, with the Denver Broncos, I think they kind of remind me of Kansas City from last year, where there's going to be a game they have where I think they take a belt and it's just everyone's like, oh, like they're good, but it's just like that was really ugly. Like I don't think the Patriots are that kind of team where they're going to take like a bad yeah, sure, the Patriots might lose bad tomorrow for all we know, but like for Denver, I'm just waiting for that game, where it's just nothing goes right and they just can't find a way to win. And I really think tomorrow could be it. You got to, because Green Bay too. Green Bay is a team that they're starting to get hot at the right time. And
Yep.
have you seen Jordan Love's Toyotathon stats?
I have not.
Ooh, let me go. I'm going to get you out of here on time, but Jordan Love, let me see this. Jordan Love Toyotathon. Here we go. Jordan Love, his Toyotathon stats refers to his thing. He's posted a 91.9 PFF grade, even though I hate those stats.
Mhm.
33 and 1 touchdown interception ratio. While Toyotathon
Wow, that's
goes
really
on.
good. That's really good.
Basically, to comparisons, 28 Toyotathon touchdowns versus 29 non-Toyotathon, but with fewer interceptions during Toyotathon. Interceptions 2 during, 20 outside of it. Passer rating 110 versus 83.9. So Jordan
Wow, that's
Love,
really good.
Toyotathon.
So when I look at this game, for me, it's more about Denver. Denver is a really really tough team that I don't think has won a big game yet, right? So this is probably one of their first legitimate big games, first place in their division. I don't think they've clinched their division yet. The Chargers are still out there. Go ahead.
Chargers win tomorrow. That's the
Oh,
same sort of thing. If Buffalo wins tomorrow, if the Chargers, so tomorrow, if the Patriots lose and the Bills win, obviously, but if the Chargers beat the Chiefs and the Broncos lose, Denver's already beaten them once this. Denver's lost to the Chargers already once this year, and the Chargers also too, I believe, are undefeated in the division going into this game. I believe they are 4-0 in division play right now as well.
but my point is, there's a chance. So like the
Yeah,
Broncos need this football game, and they need this
Broncos
football
Chargers
game
play week
again.
18. By the way, Broncos and
Right.
Chargers play week 18.
Right, and they're playing a good opponent, which is right, which is the difference, and I feel like the Packers have been there, and this kind of goes back to that Bills thing, and they know how to win football games like this. It's not a
Yep.
divisional game, so for me, I need to see something from the Broncos, and if I see something from the Broncos, they are potentially one of our first playoff games if we make the playoffs. If I see something from the Broncos in this game, it's going to make me nervous for our game because that's kind of what happened in our playoff game last year. Is the Bills just kind of came in and big boyed them. Like we've been here a lot. Have you been
Oh yeah.
here? Because I don't think you have. And I feel like that's where the Broncos still kind of are. I don't know that they've progressed to that point yet of winning really big games.
Yeah, I remember that game too. Troy Franklin gets that opening drive touchdown, and I'm like, oh, we have a game. And then Josh Allen was just like, not so. He literally Lee Corso the game where he's just like, not so fast, my friends. And just,
Right.
I believe it was 31-7. I remember that
Right.
game. Um, But also, I believe Josh Allen has never lost in the wild card round either in his career. No, he
He is
lost to
not.
Houston, but since 2020, he has not lost a
Oh
wild
yeah,
card playoff game.
yeah, 2019 lost to Houston, which they could have won that football game except for a couple small things. Which was, one of them was a missed block by Dawson Knox. If Dawson Knox makes that block on that quarterback sweep, Josh Allen's still running. Nobody still caught him as far as that goes. And the Bills win that football game.
Yeah,
But yes, he's not won in the wild card game in the wild card round since then. He's only won the lost, or he hasn't lost. Sorry, in the wild card round, has not lost in the divisional round except for once to the Chiefs, and then twice to the Chiefs. No, I guess the Bengals once in the no, he lost it in the divisional round to the Bengals as well.
yeah. Which
That's right.
I always
That's right.
I always I always put an asterisk on that game just because I always said that team was like mentally out of it at that point because of the
Demar,
gambling
yeah, that's
stuff.
the Demar year, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yep,
that team was just
100%.
like there was more stuff than football in their minds. But no, with this game here, like this is a game that if Denver wins, this is the game where it's like okay, it's time to take the Broncos seriously. But if the Broncos, even if the Broncos lose close, I think that's where you're going to start to see the cracks kind of show, where it's kind of like oh,
Yeah.
this mighty Bronco is more of a pony than an actual Bronco itself. Like I think the defense is good. They have a really good offensive line too. Basically, if you they essentially have what you want in an NFL offensive line, which is a bunch of corn-fed Midwestern boys, just big,
Yep. Yep.
big, big, big farm boys blocking for you. But no, I'm just going Green Bay because, like we say, Toyota-thon. Plus, we know they know how to win at this time of the year. They know how to
That's right.
lock in and win.
That's right. 100%. I'm with you.
Yep. New Orleans and Carolina. I'm
Who
gonna say this
cares?
first.
Fire that game. Fire that game into the sun.
I don't even know why this game's at 425. The only thing I'll say, I have a bit of a take on the coach of the year stuff. For as much as I think Liam Cohen or Mike Vrabel could win, if Dave Canales gets them to the division title into the playoffs, I think it's his award. Like considering that team has gone from like the pit of irrelevancy to winning the division, it's a good for them moment, you know?
Yeah, it just to me it still feels like a long shot. Not that he would win the coach of the year that they accomplished that. So yes, I hadn't thought that far through it. So as much as this
It's just
this is
something
a
I've been
game that
sitting
I
on.
wouldn't, if it was the only game on a Tuesday night, I wouldn't watch it type of a game. Like that's how I feel about this football game. Like I don't care about either of these teams. I don't think either. Well, the Saints aren't good, and I don't know who outside of Rico Dowdle. I'm not necessarily. Well, I guess Teddero's come on, right? I'm
Yeah.
not really sure who the Panthers even are. It's just a bizarre football game to me. And like you said, it's on a 425. They didn't slide a better game into that our game into that
Yeah.
spot as far as that goes. But yeah, so
I think the reason why our game's not 425 is because Jim and Tony are doing Broncos Packers, by the way. So that's why we have Ian Eagle and JJ Watt on the call. So
yeah, but even
I think
still, shouldn't we have Nance and Tony? I would think we should,
I
but
always
yeah,
thought we
so
would have. I always thought we'd be Sunday
yeah.
Night Football too, but Jerry would throw a bitch fit if they flexed him out. I did skip. Yeah, I'm the same thing. I think Carolina wins. Saints are the Saints.
Yeah,
We did miss one though. Rams and Lions. This is a very intriguing one
that's a good
because
that's a good football game.
yeah, because that one though is it's this game's pretty much like we all know the Rams are probably gonna. I assume they'll win the West. But for Detroit, this is basically you got to win to keep your season alive. There's so many teams right now where a loss it won't knock you out, but it will really demoralize your hopes. And
Yes,
this is one for there. I think Detroit wins this game because speed kills, and we've seen Jahmyr Gibbs like kind of pop a shot for where he can go really far, but at the same time too, Jared Goff is the same sort of thing as Trevor Lawrence. For as much they'll go as far as Jared Goff takes them, or as Dan Campbell's
yeah.
fuck around and find out goes for.
You're right. I have several thoughts about this game. So like the Rams are a fight in a phone booth kind of team. Like they're just
Yeah,
scrappy and they'll like get you down in the dirt and do whatever they have to do to grind it out. And then on the other side of it, you're like, oh, the Rams won that game. The Lions are high flying. Like you know what they are, speed kills, but it seems like some teams have kind of figured them out. And if there's a head coach that can follow a pattern or exploit a weakness, it's McVay. Like McVay is a hell of a football coach. I don't know who to take in this game as far as that goes. You love Matthew Stafford, not the biggest fan of Jared Goff. Jared Goff is much like Trevor Lawrence, the weak point of that football team by 10, right? As far as I mean, he's not a horrible quarterback, but he's definitely not Matthew. If this team had Matthew Stafford still, nobody would they'd be in the play they'd be in the Super Bowl every year and they'd have won
oh
three
yeah.
by now. Like it would be insane as far as how good they would be. Um, Man, I love the Lions though. I want the Lions are a team that I want to root for. I just feel like the Rams can ugly this game up and win it.
Yeah, I think Rams win, Lions cover the number. It's 5.5. It's kind of this
Yeah,
game can be similar to
that's good.
Chargers Chiefs, by the way. It's the same sort of thing where I think it's just a
Right.
ugly, kind of grindy down football game. Seattle Indy, does Philip Rivers stand a chance? I don't think so. I think Seattle's that sort of team that like they like to play man-to-man coverage. And Philip
Right.
Rivers, I
Right.
don't think has ever done well against man-to-man coverage to where we saw in that final year he couldn't throw the ball more than 20 yards. So if
Right.
Seattle's defense can make life hell for him, look, they just did the same thing to old man Cousins a week ago. So what's stopping them from doing it to very old man Rivers?
Yeah, no, the Colts are going to lose this football game. This is a bad move. I feel like Monday morning, the conversation, or the day after this game, the conversation, because I'm not sure if it's on Monday, Sunday night, or Sunday or Monday. It's going to be about the Colts made a mistake bringing back Philip Rivers. He's 45 years old. He hasn't played football in 5 years. Like he's fat, and I know he didn't move before, but this is not. You don't go from 5 years on the couch to playing NFL football with 320-pound defensive linemen coming at you. eh, He's not going to be ready for this football game. I could be really wrong. I think this is going to go bad.
It's either going to be a beautiful story or an ugly ending. There's no real in between. It's either they find a way to win or because they find a way to win or they get killed. And I don't know what's going to go. And I
Right.
know everyone's saying too, oh, that Sauce Gardner trade is one of the worst in-season trades where I'm like, no, it's just injuries and bad luck kind of caught up to them.
Sauce
But
Gardner
I
is
do,
one of the worst in-season trades because they gave up 2 first rounds for him. Like he was not
it's,
worth that.
yeah, that's why I'm saying it though. Like the Jets did a great job of getting the Jets did great at the trade deadline for as weird as that is to say. But I mean, I don't think they saw anything coming in the sense of like, Jones
Right.
popping his Achilles and Sauce Gardner had with the calf injury. But
Right. Right. Right.
the Colts still have the same soul searching to do. And I don't think they get rid of Ballard or Steichen, which I was very critical of back in August. But I think next year's a real, you got to make or break it. Otherwise, sayonara,
Right.
pal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I
then,
agree.
yeah. And then the only other game in this window is San Francisco and Tennessee. And I don't really have anything to say. I think like Tennessee has their quarterback of the future and nothing else. That's all I have to say about the Titans.
I'm in Tennessee, and people ask me about because I wear Bills clothes everywhere I go. People ask me about the Bills in this game this weekend, and every comment afterwards was, "Well, at least you're not Tennessee. At least you're not the Titans." I
Yeah.
was like, "Fair enough." So yes, 100%. So
Yeah, that's just it. It's like San Francisco's another team too that they know how to win at this time of the year, even no matter the
yes,
injuries, no matter who's playing ball for them.
yeah, but Brock Purdy is showing his faults. Like Brock Purdy's showing that he's probably not worth the contract they signed him for. So
No, and we all knew that. And the pumpkin and the glass slippers turning back into a pumpkin. So
yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
he's serviceable, but he's not going to be that franchise guy. He's in that same Trevor Lawrence category and like Jared Goff, where it's like he's good, but he's not going to get you to where you want to go. I know they got to the Super Bowl that
Correct.
one year, but they're just bad luck. Like like I still think that Dre Greenlaw jumping on the sidelines popped his Achilles. Like it's just that was such a bad luck injury.
Yes, bad
Sunday
luck.
night
Yeah, for sure.
Sun and then you got Sunday night football, which is I don't know why this game wasn't like I said, it's just probably because it's the Dallas Cowboys and they never get flexed out of prime time, but them against the Vikings. Um I think Dallas gets this one just because I think last week's a bit of an outlier for the Vikings, unless JJ McCarthy turns out to be awesome. But I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to go with Brian Schottenheimer is a better head coach than people kind of gave him credit for, and he's a guy that players want to play for. And that Minnesota and that Dallas defense, I think, can cause trouble for McCarthy as well because you go from playing a terrible Commanders team to playing a Cowboys team who's okay, and the Cowboys are going to do that thing, where they probably just miss out on the playoffs and then give that false hope of next year where it's like, hey, we do these things, we're going to be back. There it's the same repeat and
Yeah.
rinse and repeat cycle for the Dallas Cowboys. And they're kind of at that we suck point to where it's almost, hey, we're back.
The Dallas Cowboys are the biggest enigma there is in the last 5 years because they've had a franchise quarterback that is not serviceable. Like Dak Prescott's a great quarterback. They've got all the tools and the talent around them, and they just can't do what they need to do during the regular season for whatever reason to get into the postseason and make hay. They just aren't. Sure, they're in a division with the Eagles, right? As far as that goes, and the Eagles have been very good the last couple of years. They're just a weird team to me. This game they're either going to crush the Vikings by 40 or they're going to lose embarrassingly. I don't feel like this is they're going to win by 1 or they're going to win by 3 or they're going to win by 1 possession, but the game was never really in doubt. I feel like they either destroy the Vikings because the Vikings are not a good football team in my opinion. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of changes coming for that organization. They made huge mistakes with both with their two quarterbacks last year, and then going back to McCarthy. But to me, the Dallas Cowboys are the biggest question mark on the planet. It's like, and then to not sign Micah Parsons, but then make a huge trade for a 1 and a 2 for Quinnen Williams. It's I don't even know what Jerry Jones does during the day anymore, as far as like where his head is at. So, but it's I'll take the Cowboys. I don't think the Vikings have a chance, but the
Yeah.
Cowboys could very much. You bet it. If you bet the Cowboys, then they embarrass you and like they lose by 21. It's like to the Vikings. It's like what
Are
happened?
are we ready for a world where they give George Pickens $30+ million a year and let CeeDee Lamb gets traded this offseason?
After last week, no way. When you watched just what the way that George Pickens played that football game, I don't think George Pickens is a Cowboy next year. I'll be surprised.
Oh, I only say that too because my little pipe dream is like the Patriots trading for CeeDee Lamb, just because I think that the ceiling is higher on CeeDee Lamb than it is on George Pickens. That's just my belief with it. But because Jerry's done this before though, where they gave Amari Cooper $100 million, they
Right.
get CeeDee Lamb, moved on from him completely. The fun wrinkle in that
Well,
though is George Pickens' agent
Des Bryant.
is Micah Parsons'
Oh,
agent.
sorry. Go ahead.
George
Oh,
Pickens and Micah
oh,
Parsons have the same
interesting.
agent, David Mulligetta.
Interesting. Yeah, and they've moved on from 88s before, right? So they moved on from Des Bryant. So I mean, they've made funny moves. I can't see them moving on from CeeDee Lamb. He's the prototypical guy at wideout for that team that's wearing number 88. That he's the guy that they want to be there. George Pickens, I mean, that dude took that whole game off last week. Like I just can't, and they weren't out of it. They did a piece before the game, right, on him and CeeDee Lamb and how great they were together. He knew that piece was going to air. I'm sure he saw it before it aired, and then he went out there and put that performance on the field after CeeDee Lamb gets injured. I don't know, bro. If I was a Cowboy fan, I'd be furious if they re-signed him.
Oh, I'm just saying that because I expect the Dallas Cowboys always to do the dumb thing, especially after
To do
trading one
the
of Micah
dumb
Parsons'
thing.
agents.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's
That's
fair.
that's what
But
comes to mind.
Javante Williams has been incredible in that offense. It's been great to watch Javante Williams
Oh, he's
play
he's he's
football. But
probably
yeah,
gone. He's going to be gone. Some team's going to give him a little bit more money than he should. He's going to go get a bag in free
yep,
agency, and good for him.
yep, and then he'll disappear. Which is what
Are,
happens. But yeah,
are we ready for a disgusting Monday Night Football game between the Steelers and the Dolphins?
yes, we are. I think the Steelers win this football game. So
Yeah,
give me the
I do
Steelers.
too. Like Miami's been playing well, but like it's going to be cold. Like I think all over the continental United States and like even in Canada this week, it's been freezing cold. Like it's just not
Yeah,
been
yeah,
fun. Like I don't know if you saw that report. Like Chicago, it's going to be like -10 Fahrenheit, which I know is like it's going to be frigid in Chicago. Cincinnati's going to be 14. It's going to be like snowing it in the 20s in Foxborough.
yep. They
You
should.
got a
Why haven't they
Monday
put a
night.
dome? Why did they put a dome on that stadium? The amount of snow that you guys get out there in Foxborough. I'm just wondering. So
I don't know. I like, but I still say this still, but like games like last Sunday are why I'm thankful the Bills aren't putting a dome in because it's still going to be snowy, but it's not going to be shovel the
yeah,
snow out of the stadium. And I've also seen all the stuff
right.
and I
Yeah,
think
it's
too,
snow globes.
that thing looks huge. But no, with this game, Pittsburgh wins this game,
Beautiful.
and then yeah, Pittsburgh wins this game. I think it's gonna be cold. Tua in the cold is a no go, even though he won last week. But the Jets are terrible and have mailed in the season. And I wouldn't be shocked to see this game have bad attendance though. Because like think about Pittsburgh's a blue collar town. It's a Monday night.
Yeah.
Apparently they don't like the primetime games in Pittsburgh because everyone has to get up at 5 a.m. for work the next day.
It's because all they do, they're all blue collar. There's no professional workers there. That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm on board with you with everything you said. I mean, the Dolphins struggle in the extreme cold. They've been living on hopium, in my opinion, for the last several weeks. And at the end of the day, uh, the Steelers, I think, are up for this. I think there's a measure of urgency. I think they feel like there's a window for them, right? With the Bengals losing and what's going on with the Ravens, there's a window for them to kind of hold on to that top spot in the AFC North, which this is potentially job saving for Mike Tomlin if they win the AFC North. I can't imagine them moving on from Mike Tomlin if they win the North. But yeah, give me the Steelers in this football game. Gleefully, the Steelers, and watch the Dolphins lose and go to 6-8. That'd be great.
Because if the Dolphins, like I know everyone's saying, oh, Miami's got a chance. I'm like, Miami's not going to make the playoffs. They still have to play. They know they play the Bengals next week, which got flexed, and then they play the Buccaneers, which
Right.
that Buccaneers game, there's a lot on the line in that one. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. But no, this game Monday night, and also I looked at the temperature too. It's gonna be 19 at kickoff, which
That's a
no,
problem.
yeah, we saw what happened. This team, like I could see this game getting out of hand early, and then Miami's kind of just like, okay, get us out of here, get us back to South Beach. We're freezing. Tua's got like icicles in his ears right now, and
Right.
he is not comfortable. But no,
Right.
that's the thing with this game. It's just Pittsburgh wins, and then they'll find a way to lose another game down the stretch because I think the Pittsburgh team you guys played is the Pittsburgh team that is what they really are. Plus, one other factor for them too is the whole TJ Watt storyline. I don't think has really been paid that much attention to, him being in the hospital with the lung
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think he's not going to play, but I don't think it's going to make a difference.
and no, I'm saying for them down the
The Colt.
stretch.
Oh, down the stretch. I think he'll be fine. He'll be back. I think he'll be back in a week or two. I mean, it's this. I mean, it happened to Tyrod Taylor, right? The Chargers did it. I think it was the
Dr.
Chargers
Needle.
did it. Yeah, Dr. Needle did it to Tyrod Taylor. So it's not like his season is over. They just got to do a little bit of work to pump him back up.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's like, hey, your lung is this, and then but yeah, that's just the thing. Like Pittsburgh's, I I don't know where they go after this for next year. Like they're an organization in flux right now. They don't fire
Mhm.
coaches since hell they've had 3 coaches your entire life. That's wild to think about. They like went from Chuck
It
Noll
is
to Bill
wild.
Cowher to Tomlin, but that won't ever be a
Yep.
firing. That will be Mike leaving on his own terms or getting traded to
Yeah.
where I
Yeah.
think if he does get released, I don't think it's going to be like Belichick where, he has to wait and kind of
Right.
sizzles out.
Right.
I think a team will pick him up, but he's also going to pick his shot. I think he goes to a team that, he wants to. Like, I know I'm saying, oh, I'd love for him to coach the Giants. I'm like, he's not going to go to a team like the Giants. He's going to want to go to a team that they're ready to go.
Right. 100%. Yep. I'm bar with all that. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. This week 15 is really going to be interesting because you have so many make or break games. You have just a plop on the couch for 10 hours and watch football all day, kind of Sunday too. Unless Sunday night football might be like I'm on my phone and I look up and I'm like, ooh, look at that happening. Like I have it on as kind of like background noise while I get ready for work Monday
For
because
sure.
Vikings Cowboys, who really cares? And then next Sunday, obviously, I'll be fully invested with Patriots Ravens.
Yep.
But hopefully, well, we don't know if this will be the last time we play each other. Maybe we'll see each other again in January. Who knows? But no, the only thing I have to say is just we're in for a good Sunday. We'll see what happens. We'll see where our emotional psyches are in about 24 to 25 hours from now.
Yes, we will. You are absolutely correct. I appreciate you having me on. It's always fun talking football with you. So I'm not on any other program where we get kind of this in depth with like game to game and just things about the game or things about the teams as far as that goes. So it's always a lot of fun to do this with you a couple times a year.
Yeah, that's why I like doing it just because, like, I get to learn a little bit about every other team, even though if some previews were just this game's happening, this is going to happen, does that team sucks. It's still
Right.
just fun to
Right.
talk about.
For sure. 100%.
413 of these bad boys are in the bag. I'll be back next week for 414, guys. Having Joe Miller back on is always a blast, as always. I'm Griff. Go Pats.
Go Bills.
I'm a nice guy, so I'll let him finish off with that. Have a great one, everybody.